The day my ex-husband's new wife announced her pregnancy, I locked myself in a bathroom stall at work and cried until my mascara ran in black rivers down my cheeks. Not because I still loved him, God no, but because for 5 years, I'd carried the weight of being the barren one, the failure, the woman who couldn't give Warren Hoffman an heir. My name is Desiree, and this is the story of how I learned that karma takes its sweet time. But when it strikes with surgical precision. Desiree, honey, did you hear the wonderful news? Margaret from accounting cornered me by the coffee machine that morning, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Warren and Francesca are expecting. Isn't it just miraculous? I forced my lips into what I hoped looked like a smile. Yes, wonderful, I managed, though my hands shook so badly I nearly dropped my mug. Some women are just natural mothers, I suppose, she continued, twisting the knife. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean. Excuse me, I cut her off. I have a meeting. There was no meeting. Just me, hiding in that bathroom stall, remembering every cutting remark from my former mother-in-law, Scarlett. Every whispered accusation. Every time she'd cornered me at family gatherings to remind me of my duty. A woman's primary purpose is to continue the family line, she'd say, lips pursed like she'd just sucked a lemon. Warren needs an heir. The Hoffman name must continue. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend, Olive. You okay? Heard through the grapevine. Want me to key his car? I almost smiled. No keying required. Yet. That evening, I decided to finally clear out the storage unit I'd been paying for since the divorce. Olive showed up with wine and pizza, ready to help sort through the remnants of my married life. Look at this, she said, pulling out my wedding album. God, you were gorgeous. He never deserved you. Stop, I said, but I was smiling. Help me with these medical files instead. We sorted through papers, tax returns, house documents, medical records from various checkups. Then I found it. A sealed envelope from Burton Fertility Clinic, dated 3 years into my marriage. What's this? I turned it over in my hands. I don't remember. Open it, Olive urged, leaning forward. My hands trembled as I broke the seal. The letterhead was crisp, official. Dr. Charles Burton's signature at the bottom. But it was the content that made my heart stop. Patient, Warren Hoffman. Diagnosis, complete azoospermia. Prognosis, irreversible sterility. Notes, patient exhibits 0 sperm count due to congenital condition. Oh my God, Olive whispered, reading over my shoulder. Oh my God, Desiree. The room spun. I remembered now. Warren had insisted we both get tested. He'd gone first, then told me his results were fine, said the problem must be me. Made me go through countless treatments, painful procedures, all while knowing. He knew, I said, my voice hollow. He knew the whole time. That bastard, Olive hissed. And now his new wife is pregnant? Something's not adding up. My phone buzzed again. A Facebook notification. Scarlett had tagged me in a post. A sonogram photo with the caption, God answers prayers, our miracle grandbaby is on the way. Blessed miracle baby. I stared at the post, then at the medical report in my hands. 5 years of shame. 5 years of whispers and judgment. 5 years of believing I was broken. Olive, I said slowly, I think it's time we did some digging. She grabbed her phone, already typing. Where do we start? I held up the medical report, my hands steady for the first time that day. With Dr. Burton. Let's see what else he remembers about my ex-husband's little secret. The truth was finally in my hands, and for the first time in years, I felt something other than shame. Pure, clarifying rage. Dr. Burton's office hadn't changed in 10 years. Same faded motivational posters, same worn leather chairs, same potted plants struggling to survive in the corner. But this time, I wasn't here as a patient desperate for answers. I was here for the truth. Ms. Cooper, he said, adjusting his glasses as he reviewed the old report. I remember this case quite clearly, actually. It's not often I have a patient threaten legal action over their own test results. Threaten legal action? I leaned forward. What do you mean? Your ex-husband was adamant that these results be sealed. He called multiple times, demanding we destroy them. Obviously, we're required by law to maintain medical records. Dr. Burton's expression softened. I always wondered what happened with that situation. Olive, sitting beside me, spoke up. He told her the results were normal, made her believe she was the problem. Dr. Burton's face darkened. That's highly unethical. The condition I diagnosed, it's genetic, congenital. There's zero chance of natural conception. My hands clenched in my lap. And there's no treatment? No possibility of improvement? None. Which makes this current situation with his new wife quite... He paused, choosing his words carefully. Interesting. As we left the clinic, Olive's phone chimed. She glanced at it, then stopped walking. Desiree, look at this. It was a text from an unknown number. Olive? It's Francesca. Please don't tell Warren I messaged you. We really can't let him know about Shane. Delete this after reading. Wrong number, I said, staring at the message. She meant to text another Olive. Or did she? Olive was already typing into her phone. Let me do some digging on this Shane person. That evening, we sat in my apartment, laptops open, wine flowing. Olive had found Shane's Instagram. He was a photographer, early 30s, with an impressive portfolio of wedding shots and family portraits. Look at this, she said, turning her screen. It was a photo from 3 years ago. Francesca, laughing at some party, her arm around Shane. The caption read, Happy birthday to my favorite person. 10 years of friendship and counting. Scroll through his recent posts, I said. Every single photo of Francesca's pregnancy announcement, every ultrasound picture, every baby bump update, Shane had liked them all. Some had comments, beautiful as always, and can't wait to meet the little one. This feels intimate, Olive muttered. My phone rang, startling us both. It was an unknown number. Hello? Ms. Cooper? A woman's voice, hesitant. This is Angela, Dr. Burton's nurse. I probably shouldn't be calling, but I remembered something about your ex-husband's case. I put the phone on speaker. Go on. The day he got his results, he was with his mother. She's the one who insisted on sealing everything. Said something about protecting the family name. She knew, Ms. Cooper. She knew the whole time. The wine glass in my hand trembled. Thank you, Angela. After hanging up, I sat in silence, remembering every snide comment Scarlett had made. Every time she'd blamed me at family gatherings. Every tearful phone call where she'd begged me to give Warren a child before he looks elsewhere. She orchestrated the whole thing, I whispered. The divorce, Francesca, everything. Olive's phone chimed again. Another text from Francesca. Wrong number earlier, sorry, please delete. Wait, Olive said, pulling up Facebook. There's an event invitation. The baby's christening, 3 weeks from now at St. Michael's Cathedral. I clicked the link. There it was, in elegant script. Join us in welcoming the newest addition to our family. All are welcome to share in our blessing. Scarlett had added a comment. God rewards the faithful. They invited you? Olive asked, incredulous. Of course they did, I said, my voice steady. Scarlett would never miss a chance to parade their miracle in front of me. I opened my laptop and clicked attending. Olive raised an eyebrow. You're going? I looked at the medical report on my coffee table, then at Francesca's mysterious texts about Shane, and smiled. Oh yes, I wouldn't miss this christening for the world. What are you planning? The truth always comes out, I said, reaching for the wine bottle. I'm just going to help it along. You're sure about this Shane guy? I asked, watching Olive scroll through endless social media posts on her tablet. We were camped out at our favorite coffee shop, strategically positioned to watch Francesca's regular Saturday yoga class across the street. Look at this. Olive turned her screen toward me. Every major event in Francesca's life for the past decade, he's there. Birthdays, graduations, even her sister's wedding. But the posts stop abruptly 6 months before she met Warren. The yoga class let out, and Francesca emerged, her 7-month baby bump obvious under her fitted workout wear. She was chatting with another woman, laughing, one hand protectively over her stomach. "There's something else," Olive said, lowering her voice. "I found Shane's photography website. He specializes in maternity shoots, but get this, he hasn't posted any of Francesca's pregnancy photos, not a single one." My phone buzzed. A text from Scarlett. "So pleased you're attending the christening, dear. Very brave of you." "Delete," I muttered, swiping the message away. "What else did you find?" "Well, Shane's Instagram has this series of artistic tattoo photos. He has this distinctive piece on his left forearm, a sort of Celtic spiral design. And look at this." Olive pulled up Francesca's latest ultrasound post. "See that birthmark they're pointing out on the baby scan? The one they're all cooing about in the comments?" I squinted at the image. The similarity was unmistakable. "Could be coincidence," I said, but my heart was racing. "Coincidence my ass," Olive snorted. "Oh wait, Francesca's leaving." We watched as she walked to her car, but instead of heading home, she drove to the park several blocks away. We followed at a distance. "There," Olive pointed. A man was waiting on a bench, tall, artistic-looking, with camera equipment beside him. Shane. We were too far to hear their conversation, but their body language spoke volumes. The way Francesca kept looking over her shoulder, how Shane's hand reached out but stopped short of touching her arm, the intense discussion that lasted exactly 7 minutes before they parted ways. "Got it," Olive whispered, her phone held discreetly up. All on video. That evening, I received an elaborate email about the christening arrangements. Scarlett had planned everything down to the last detail: the cathedral, the reception at their country club, the professional photographer. "Wait," I said, reading the photographer's name to Olive over the phone. "Guess who they hired?" "No way." "Yes way. Shane himself will be documenting the whole blessed event." Olive was quiet for a moment. "Desiree, are you sure you want to do this? Once it's done, there's no taking it back." I walked to my bedroom closet and pulled out the dress I'd chosen for the christening. Elegant, understated, perfect for making a statement without saying a word. They took 5 years of my life, Olive. 5 years of thinking I was broken, of watching other women at baby showers, wondering what was wrong with me, of crying myself to sleep while Warren worked late at the office, probably planning his exit strategy the whole time. "I know, honey. I remember. And Scarlett," my voice hardened, "the way she'd pray for me at family dinners. Lord, please bless Desiree with fertility," knowing the whole time her precious son was the one who couldn't. "Desiree?" "Yeah?" "I found something else. Shane just posted a new photo. Well, look at your messages." The image loaded, a black and white shot of a man's hand holding a small vial. The caption read, "Sometimes the truth needs a little scientific backup. DNA test. No more secrets." "Holy shit," I breathed. "It gets better," Olive said. "I got into some of Francesca's old photo albums. There's a gap in her social media posts around the time she would have conceived. But I found pictures from her college friend's private account. Guess where Francesca was 3 weeks before she met Warren?" "Where?" "At a photography workshop in Aspen. Teaching assistant, Shane Rogers." I sat down on my bed, the christening dress still in my hands. 3 weeks before she met Warren. 9 months and 1 week before the miracle baby was born, Olive confirmed. I looked at my calendar, where the christening date was circled in red. 2 weeks to go. "Time to make some calls," I said. "Starting with Dr. Burton's office. We need that medical report officially certified." "And then?" I smiled, running my hands over the dress. "Then we give them exactly what they deserve. The truth, wrapped in a beautiful bow, delivered in front of everyone they've ever lied to." The boutique's bell chimed as I walked in, searching for a suitable gift for the christening. Nothing too expensive, just enough to maintain appearances. That's when I heard her voice. Desiree? Oh my God, hi. Francesca stood by a display of baby clothes, one hand resting on her now prominent belly. Her smile was too bright, too forced. Francesca, I said, keeping my voice neutral. You look well. Thank you, She fidgeted with a tiny white baptismal gown. I'm so glad you're coming to the christening. Warren was surprised. I'm sure he was. She shifted uncomfortably. He doesn't like to dwell on the past, you know? Says it's better to focus on new beginnings. I'm sure he does, I replied, watching her face carefully. Some pasts are better left buried, aren't they? Her smile faltered for just a second. I should go. The photographer's waiting to discuss the christening shots. Shane, right? I saw his name on the event details. The color drained from her face. Yes, he's very professional. Highly recommended. My phone rang. Perfect timing. Excuse me, I need to take this. I stepped away, watching in the mirror as Francesca practically ran from the store. The call was from Dr. Burton's office. Ms. Cooper, I have that certified copy you requested, but there's something else you should know. I listened as he described Warren's angry phone call from years ago, threatening lawsuits if the diagnosis ever came to light. He was quite specific about keeping it from his mother, Dr. Burton said, which I found odd, since she was with him when he received the initial results. That evening, Olive came over with Chinese takeout and new information. Look what I found, she said, pulling up a series of photos on her laptop. Shane's been documenting Francesca's pregnancy, just not publicly. These are on his private portfolio site. The photos were stunning. Artistic black and white shots of Francesca in various stages of pregnancy. But something caught my eye. Wait, zoom in on that one. In the background of one shot, barely visible, was a familiar figure. Scarlett, watching from a window, her expression unreadable. The timestamp, Olive pointed. This was taken at their house 2 months ago. So Scarlett knows the photographer personally, I mused. Interesting. My doorbell rang. A courier held out an envelope. Delivery for Desiree Cooper? Inside was the certified medical report, with an additional note from Dr. Burton. In case it helps, I've attached the original appointment records. Your ex-husband's mother made the booking herself. Got you, I whispered. Olive was still scrolling through photos. Desiree, look at this series. Shane's recent work, all baby shots, but look at the dates. The photos showed a pattern. Shane had been photographing nearly every upscale baby event in town for the past year. Building his portfolio? I suggested. Or building his alibi, Olive countered. What better way to explain his presence at the christening than as the hired photographer? My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Shane. We need to talk. It's about the christening. Should I respond? I asked Olive. Not yet. Let him sweat. Another text arrived, this time from Scarlett. Dear, I'm arranging the seating for the reception. Would you prefer to be seated with family or others? Others, I typed back. I wouldn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Olive snorted. They have no idea what's coming, do they? I picked up the certified medical report, running my fingers over the official seal. 1 week to go. Everything needs to be perfect. Are you nervous? No, I said, surprising myself with how true it felt. For the first time in years, I feel completely calm. My phone buzzed again. Shane. Please. There are things you need to know before the christening. Things about Francesca and Warren. Olive raised an eyebrow. Now that's interesting. I looked at the message, then at the medical report, then at the photos of Scarlett watching from the window. Tell him to meet us, I decided. Tomorrow morning, public place. It's time we heard his side of the story. And if he confesses? I smiled, tucking the medical report safely away. Then we'll have everything we need for the christening. Every single piece of the puzzle. They won't know what hit them, Olive grinned. No, I agreed. They really won't. Shane was already waiting at the coffee shop when we arrived, fidgeting with his camera bag. He looked exactly like his photos, artistic, troubled, and definitely the type to get tangled in a complicated situation. Thanks for meeting me, he said as we sat down. I've been trying to figure out how to handle this for weeks. Handle what, exactly? I kept my voice level. He glanced around before pulling out his phone. This is from last week's maternity shoot. He showed us a close-up of the baby's ultrasound photo. Look at the genetic markers they highlighted, the blood type particularly. Olive leaned in. AB negative. Warren's blood type is O positive, I said quietly. I remember from our fertility treatments. Shane nodded. Francesca knows I know. We've known each other since college, been close friends for years. Then, well, things got complicated. How complicated? Olive asked. We were together in Aspen, at a photography workshop, 3 weeks before she met Warren. He ran his hands through his hair. She called me 2 months later, crying, saying she was pregnant but had met someone perfect for her future. Warren? I supplied. Yeah, said he was successful, from a good family. Everything she'd always wanted. He laughed bitterly. I didn't know about his condition until recently. My phone buzzed. A text from Scarlett. Darling, the christening rehearsal is tomorrow. Do attend if you can. The more practice, the less chance of any unfortunate incidents. Does Warren suspect anything? I asked Shane. He's starting to. The baby's features, they're becoming more distinct. Last week he made a comment about the eyes not looking like either side of the family. Olive pulled out her laptop. Show us the rest of the photos. Shane's portfolio told the story better than words could. Intimate shots of Francesca throughout her pregnancy, but with a rawness that went beyond professional photography. The way she looked at the camera, at him, spoke volumes. Why are you telling me all this? I asked. Because I saw what they did to you, he said simply. The whispers, the blame. Francesca told me everything, thinking it justified what happened. But it didn't. Nothing justifies that kind of cruelty. My phone buzzed again. Francesca this time. Please tell me you haven't spoken to Shane. Please, Desiree, I can explain everything. Too late, I muttered. There's more, Shane said. I did a DNA test last week. The results come in tomorrow. Olive's eyes widened. Before the rehearsal? He nodded. I can't keep photographing this lie, pretending to just be the hired help while my own... He trailed off. Your own child is being christened into another man's family, I finished. Yeah. He pulled out an envelope. These are copies of all our correspondence, texts, emails, photos. Use them however you want. I'm done hiding. After he left, Olive turned to me. This changes everything. We don't even need Warren's medical report anymore. This is... No, I cut her off. We use all of it. The medical report proves Warren and Scarlett knew from the beginning. These prove what happened after. The complete picture. My phone lit up with another text from Scarlett. Final fitting for the christening gown tomorrow. You should see it. Pure white. Absolutely pristine. Nothing but the best for a true Hoffman heir. The irony. Olive snorted. I stood up, gathering the envelope of evidence. The rehearsal's tomorrow. Are you ready? I thought about Warren's smugness, Scarlett's cruel whispers, Francesca's desperate deception. 5 years of shame and silence. More than ready, I said. It's time everyone knew exactly what kind of family they're christening this baby into. Desiree? Olive called as I turned to leave. Just remember you're better than them. Don't let revenge make you cruel. I touched the envelope containing Shane's confession. This isn't about cruelty. It's about truth. They built their perfect family on lies. I'm just going to show everyone the foundation. My phone buzzed one final time. Dr. Burton. Medical report is officially notarized. Good luck tomorrow. Some truths need to be told. I smiled, thinking of Scarlett's pristine white christening gown. By this time tomorrow, nothing in their perfect world would be pristine anymore. The cathedral's stained glass windows cast colored shadows across the marble floor as I walked in for the rehearsal. Every head turned. Scarlett's face went from pleasant hostess to barely concealed panic in seconds. "Desiree, we weren't sure you'd come to the rehearsal," she managed, her society smile firmly in place. "Wouldn't miss it," I replied, matching her tone. Warren stood near the altar, looking uncomfortable in his suit. When he saw me, he whispered something to Francesca, who paled visibly. "Places, everyone," the priest called out. "Let's practice the procession." I took my assigned seat, watching as Shane set up his camera equipment. His hands shook slightly as he adjusted his lens. The DNA test results had arrived that morning. He'd texted me a simple, "It's confirmed." "The godparents will stand here," the priest directed, "and then we'll have the family gathering around the font." Scarlett busied herself arranging everyone, her voice carrying across the cathedral. "Warren, darling, stand closer to your wife. This needs to look perfect for tomorrow." I caught Shane's eye as he photographed the scene. He gave me an almost imperceptible nod. "And now," the priest continued, "after the blessing, we'll have a few words from the father." Warren cleared his throat. "Yes, well, I've prepared a speech about family legacy and divine miracles." "Actually," Scarlett interrupted, "I think we should have Desiree say a few words too. Show there are no hard feelings." Her smile was razor sharp. "You will be polite, won't you, dear?" "Of course," I said softly. "I have quite a lot to say, actually." Francesca swayed slightly, grabbing the baptismal font for support. "Are you all right?" Warren asked her. Just tired," she mumbled. I opened my purse, touching the envelope containing both Warren's medical report and Shane's evidence. Olive, sitting a few rows back, gave me a thumbs up. "Let's practice the photo arrangements," Scarlett announced. "Shane, dear, where do you want everyone?" "The light's best by the windows," he said professionally, though his voice cracked slightly. As everyone shuffled into position, I watched the scene unfold like a tragic play. Warren, oblivious and proud. Scarlett, orchestrating her perfect family tableau. Francesca, trembling beside her husband while the real father of her child adjusted his camera settings. "Perfect," Shane said, snapping test shots. "Mrs. Hoffman, could you move slightly to the left?" Scarlett preened. "The lighting does need to be perfect for such a blessed occasion." "Speaking of blessings," I spoke up, my voice carrying in the cathedral's acoustics, "I've brought a special gift for the rehearsal." All eyes turned to me as I stood, envelope in hand. "Oh, how thoughtful," Scarlett said, but her eyes narrowed. "But gifts are really for tomorrow." "This can't wait," I said. "It's something the whole family should see. Especially you, Scarlett, since you were there when it was first delivered." The color drained from her face. "I'm sure I don't know what you—" "It's from Dr. Burton's office," I continued pleasantly. "Remember him? The fertility specialist who tested Warren 10 years ago?" Warren's face went ash white. Francesca grabbed his arm. "Warren? What is she talking about?" "Nothing," he snapped. "She's just trying to cause trouble." "Actually," Shane's voice rang out as he lowered his camera, "I think we should all hear what Desiree has to say." The priest looked bewildered. "Perhaps we should take a break." "No," I said firmly, opening the envelope. "No more breaks, no more secrets, no more lies about who can and cannot have children." "Desiree, please," Scarlett stepped forward, reaching for the envelope. "Think about what you're doing." I held up the medical report, its official seal gleaming in the colored light from the windows. "Oh, I have thought about it. For 5 years I've thought about nothing else." I turned to face the assembled group. Would anyone like to hear what it says? Or should we start with why Scarlett booked her son's fertility test and then helped him hide the results? The cathedral fell silent, except for the sound of Shane's camera clicking, capturing every shocked face for posterity. Tomorrow couldn't come soon enough. The christening day arrived with perfect weather and a packed cathedral. Sunlight streamed through stained glass, illuminating the assembled guests in patches of gold and blue. I sat quietly in my assigned pew, watching the drama unfold. "Everything looks divine," Scarlett gushed to the guests, but her eyes kept darting nervously to where I sat. After yesterday's rehearsal, she'd spent hours calling me, alternating between threats and pleading. Warren stood at the front, tugging at his collar, while Francesca cradled the baby. Shane moved around the edges, camera clicking, professional mask firmly in place. "Shall we begin?" the priest asked. The ceremony started traditionally enough. Prayers were said, hymns were sung. Then came time for Warren's speech. "This miracle baby," he began, voice cracking with emotion, "is proof that God rewards the faithful. After years of difficulty, having children, He blessed us with—" "Actually," I stood up, my voice carrying clearly through the cathedral, "let's talk about those difficulties, Warren." Gasps rippled through the congregation. Scarlett stepped forward. "Desiree, please, this is a holy ceremony?" "Yes, it is. So let's be truthful before God." I pulled out the medical report. "Warren, would you like to read this? Or should I?" "Security!" Scarlett hissed to an usher, but Olive had already moved to block the side door. "It's a medical report," I continued, "from Dr. Burton's fertility clinic. Dated 10 years ago. It states, quite clearly, that Warren has a condition called complete azoospermia. 0 sperm count. Completely sterile." The cathedral erupted in whispers. Warren's face turned purple. "You have no right," he started. "I had every right," my voice rang out. "For 5 years you let everyone believe I was broken. Your mother whispered behind my back, called me barren, said I was letting down the family name. But you knew, Warren. You knew the whole time." Francesca swayed on her feet, clutching the baby tighter. "Warren?" Her voice trembled. "Is this true?" "Of course not," he snapped. "She's lying." "Actually," Shane stepped forward, lowering his camera, "she's not. And you know what else isn't a lie?" He pulled out an envelope of his own. "The DNA test results I got yesterday." The baby chose that moment to cry, a sharp wail that echoed off the cathedral walls. Francesca's eyes met Shane's, and something passed between them. "No," Warren breathed, finally understanding. "No, it can't be." "The baby has AB negative blood," I announced to the stunned congregation. "Warren's blood type is O positive. Basic biology makes that impossible." Scarlett lunged for the medical report in my hands, but I stepped back. "Careful, Scarlett. Wouldn't want to cause a scene in church, would we? Like you did 10 years ago when you made Warren hide his diagnosis?" "You vindictive little—" she sputtered. "What's vindictive about the truth?" I turned to address the guests. "For years, this family built their reputation on lies. They destroyed my life to protect their precious image. And now?" I gestured to the crying baby. "They're about to christen a child into a foundation of lies." "The baby is mine," Shane said quietly, but in the shocked silence, everyone heard him. "Francesca and I, before she met Warren." Warren lunged at Shane, but 2 ushers caught him. "You son of a—" "Language," the priest admonished. "This is still a house of God." Francesca suddenly stepped forward, steel in her voice. "It's all true. I was pregnant when I met Warren. Scarlett knew. She figured it out. She said if I married Warren quickly, no one would question the timing. Said it would solve everyone's problems." "Francesca!" Scarlett shrieked. "How dare you? No, how dare you?" Francesca shot back. "You used me just like you used Desiree, all to protect your precious son's reputation." The baby continued crying as chaos erupted in the cathedral. Guests stood up, phones recording everything. Warren stormed out a side door. Scarlett collapsed into a pew, fanning herself dramatically. I watched it all, feeling strangely calm. Shane had moved to stand beside Francesca, one hand protectively on the baby's head. Well, Olive appeared at my elbow. I'd say that's a christening no one's going to forget. I nodded, tucking the medical report away. Amazing how much damage the truth can do to those who live by lies. The baby's cries finally quieted as Francesca handed the child to Shane. In that moment, watching their family finally come together honestly, I felt the last chains of my past break free. The social media storm hit before I even got home from the cathedral. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications as the video of the christening confrontation spread through local circles like wildfire. "Have you seen the comments?" Olive asked, sprawled on my couch with her laptop. "Warren's biggest client just pulled their account. Apparently they don't do business with people who lack integrity." I was making tea when my doorbell rang. To my surprise, Francesca stood there, still in her christening dress, holding the baby. Shane waited by the car in the driveway. "Can we come in?" she asked. I think I owe you an explanation." I held the door open, and she settled on my couch, the baby sleeping peacefully in her arms. "I knew about you," she said quietly. "Scarlett told me everything when she arranged for me to meet Warren. Said you couldn't give him children, that the family needed an heir. She didn't tell me about Warren's condition until after I revealed my pregnancy." "And you went along with it?" I was scared. Single, pregnant, my parents are conservative. Scarlett promised security, status, protection. She said everyone would win. Francesca laughed bitterly. I didn't realize how many people had to lose for her to win. My phone buzzed, a text from Dr. Burton. "Just saw the video. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. Some lies need to be exposed." "What happens now?" I asked Francesca. "Shane and I are moving to Seattle. He got a job offer there last month. We'll raise our daughter together, properly this time." She stood up, adjusting the baby's blanket. "I am sorry, Desiree, for being part of their lie." After they left, Olive showed me more social media updates. Scarlett had deactivated all her accounts. Warren's sister posted a long apology to me, revealing that she'd suspected her brother's condition for years but had been sworn to secrecy. "Look at this one." Olive pointed to her screen. A local society blog had published an article. "Local business dynasty crumbles under weight of decades-long deception." "I don't feel as vindicated as I thought I would," I admitted. "No? I feel free." I picked up the medical report from my coffee table. Like I can finally put this down. My phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. "Desiree." It was Margaret from my old office. I saw the video. I wanted to apologize for how I treated you back then. The things I said about you being... Well, I was wrong. We all were." The calls and messages kept coming. Former friends who'd pulled away, colleagues who'd whispered behind my back, even Warren's aunt who'd once told me I was failing the family legacy. Late that evening, as Olive and I shared a bottle of wine, one final text came through, from Warren himself. "You've destroyed everything. I hope you're happy." Olive raised an eyebrow. "Are you going to respond?" I deleted the message. He wouldn't understand the answer anyway. Which is, that happiness isn't what I was looking for. I wanted truth, justice, the right to stand up and say, "You didn't break me, you just made me stronger." A notification popped up. Shane had posted a new photo series. The first shot showed Francesca and the baby in natural light, both smiling. The caption read, "No more hiding, no more lies, just love and truth from here on out." The second photo stopped my heart. It was from the christening, the moment I stood up with the medical report. But Shane's lens had captured something I hadn't seen. The strength in my posture, the light from the stained glass windows, creating what looked like a halo around me. And in the background, Scarlett's face crumbling as her carefully constructed world fell apart. The caption simply read, "Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply telling the truth." "He's right, you know," Olive said softly. "You didn't just expose their lies. You showed everyone that the truth always finds its way out. I closed my laptop, silencing the still buzzing notifications. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of possibility. "You know what the best part is?" I said, raising my wine glass. "What's that?" "I never have to think about any of them ever again." We clinked glasses, and I felt the last weight lift from my shoulders. The truth had set everyone free, even me.